Welcome to episode 18. We're over here at Grand Villa. We're going to put in a little 2-5 session while we wait for rush hour traffic to die down. There's a limp. Low jack is raised to $30. We got 8-9 suited next to act. We could fold, could raise, we could call. They all seem good. We elect to call this time, and we end up going 6 ways to a flop. So we're looking for some help. It comes. Queen 10-6 with 2 hearts. We flop a flush draw and a gut shot. We flop a double gut shot. I just realized that. I did not know that when I was playing. Embarrassing. Checks the pre-flop raiser, who puts in a about half-size bet of $85. I think a raise here just looks super strong to 6 players, and we can go with our hand if we get jammed on. So I do go for the raise, trying to take it down on the flop. 225. To my surprise, cutoff overcalls. This is pretty concerning. This seems like a higher flush draw almost all the time, so I'm a little bit worried. Gets back to the low jack, and she thinks for quite a while and then decides on a call. So 3 ways to a turn. We're looking for a 7 here, and it comes. We get the 7 of diamonds. No straight flush, but we do make the nuts. It checks over to us, and with the pot being this big, there's only one option here. We're going to go all in. Cut off snap calls, as I assume he do with all his nut flush draws. And low jack thinks for quite a bit, but ultimately decides on a fold. So we're looking for a non-heart river. It comes. Ace of diamonds, but now king jack does get there, which is a little bit concerning. We show, and luckily we are good. Great way to start the session. All right, in this next hand, we have pocket aces, facing an under the gun limp and a middle position raised to 30. We're going to play a few hands to this fella tonight. It's pretty good reg. He's quite aggressive, very fast. Doesn't really need to think about his actions, but lots of overbets. We're looking to play some pots with this guy. We're going to raise up to 120. Under the gun actually calls, and so does the middle position player. So we are 3 ways to a flop of king jack 7 with 2 hearts. Definitely going to start with a small bet here. I make it 120. Under the gun folds, and middle position raises to 300. This is not a great feeling, you know. You're holding on with an overpair and a 300 with 300 big blinds effective, but this player has been known to raise top pairs, so I'm not overly concerned right now. We're going to make the call. I think 3-betting the flop is overplaying our hand. So I make the call, and we're off to a turn, which is the 5 of clubs. Check it over to him again. We've only got like a pot size bet behind, and he decides on a bet sizing of 350. So over here, I think we're gonna have to decide if we want to go with a hand or just fold. I don't think call makes much sense because the hands that we beat aren't gonna put in a final river bet, and we also want to deny equity from queen 10, all his flush draws. If he does have pocket jacks or king jack suited, you know, so be it. So I decide to jam all in here, deny equity from those hands, and possibly get value from maybe ace king or king queen. He thinks for quite a while and then announces king queen no good. It's not. Please call. Unfortunately, he does decide on a fold, so nice to take down this huge second pot. All right, it'd probably be unfair to get aces twice in a row, so we're going to break it up and get pocket kings this hand. We're going to raise it up to $20 in the low jack. And our friend from the previous hand on the button decides to play again with us. So we are heads up to a flop of queen 10-4 rainbow. Going to start with about a half pot bet here and make it $20. Once again, we're getting raised, 55. I like to call here. I think calling makes the most sense, so we do call. And we're off to a turn, which is a king of spades. So we make top set, check it over to him, and he decides to own a big bet, 120. I think our kings here are strong enough to play for stacks. It does suck when he has ace jack or jack 9, but our hand's really strong, and there's a ton that we can get value from. So I'm going to start with a raise here, and we're going to play for stacks on the river. So I make it 300. Thinks for quite a while, and it looks like he just had a queen, like ace queen or queen 9 or something like that, because he does make the fold. He announced he has a queen, and I believe him, so we're going to take down this one as well. All right, enough of that pocket kings nonsense. We're back to pocket aces. Middle position has limped. We're going to raise this up to $25. Folds to small blind, who's our friend from the last 2 hands, who makes the call, and middle position does as well. So 3 ways to a flop, which is not great. It's 10-7-6 with 2 hearts. Checks to me. I'm going to start with a small bet here, although I think checking's probably better. I bet 25, and they both call. So off to a turn, which is the 4 of hearts. 4 is getting really dicey. They check it over to me again. I'm just going to check this one back and play some rivers. River is the 5 of clubs, which doesn't change much, and small blind just grabs like greens in the middle. Turns out to be 225. Middle position folds, and this player likes his overbets. He does bluff a lot. And normally I wouldn't call this, but I do want to give this guy a little bit of action. We've just taken him for the last 2 hands. Yeah, we're just going to pay him off this hand. We're happy to toss in the call, and he shows the 8-9 of diamonds for the flop straight. Very nice hand. On to the next hand. We lost one of our aces, replaced with a 2. Not great, but cutoff's raised to 15. Against this player, I don't really like 3-betting my wheel aces. We don't need a bluff 3-bet range. And I think that calling a position makes more money, so I do so. Big blind has other plans. He raised it up to $60. Cutoff calls. We're obviously going to call this in position, and we're off to a flop. Queen 8-6 with 2 clubs. We are just running so good today. He starts off with a check. Cutoff also checks, and we're definitely going to start betting here. So I make it $75. Big blind makes the call, and cutoff gets out the way. So off to a turn, which is the jack of spades. Checks it over once again, and I think that his most likely holding here is probably like pocket 9s through jacks. One of those sucks. And a lot of ace kings here. So we're going to want to put a lot of those hands into a tough spot and set up a river jam here. So it does not have to be a big bet. We don't have to go huge. I'm going to go about 1/3. I make it 120, and he thinks for quite a while before deciding on a fold. So really big win there. Really happy with that. All right, this is our final hand. We have a low jack call. We got 10-8 of clubs in the cutoff. Diamonds. We're going to raise it up to $25. Button folds, small blind folds. Big blind, who's our friend from the last 3 hands, is called. So we're going to play one last hand with him. And low jack also makes a call. So 3 ways to a beautiful flop. 10-8 for all spades. Checks to me. Definitely going to start with a small bet here with top 2. I make it 25. Big blind calls, and low jack gets out the way. So off to a turn, hoping for no spade. It's a jack of hearts. It's all right. Checks over to me. We're still going to want to go for some value. I size up a little bit here, about 2/3 to $80, and big blind makes the call. So off to a river, hoping for a clean one. It's not. It's a 9 of hearts. He checks it over to me, and our hand's too strong to turn into a bluff. It's too weak to value bet. Like, what are we really going to get called by? Ace 10? No way. We're just going to check this one back, and we are good. What a session.
That was an absolutely amazing session. My new job site's very close to Grand Villa, so I just came here to beat rush hour traffic, play for an hour or so. I only played for an hour 15, and we were in for 600, out $2,390. Just some amazing run good. That's a profit of $1,790, which will bring the bankroll from 47.34 up to 63.24. I'll put it on the screen. I can't do math right now. I am so tired. That's going to wrap it up for episode 18. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.